Most foreign founders in Vietnam hit the same wall. The team executed the task. The output was technically fine. But it wasn't what you meant. This series is about why that happens, and how to fix it structurally. You explain the task. They nod. 2 days later, it's off. Not because they weren't listening. Because they were missing 4 things you assumed were obvious. The outcome you wanted, what good looks like, what they were allowed to decide, and when to stop and ask. You didn't give them a task. You gave them a starting point. The instinct is to blame language. But the same execution gaps show up in organizations where everyone speaks the same first language. Language is the surface. The real problem is structural. Verbal clarity depends on memory, on who's in the room, on how you're feeling that day. It degrades. Structural clarity, written into a process, a brief, a standard, holds. The goal isn't to communicate better. It's to communicate less, by encoding more. Between your intent and their output, there are 3 layers where meaning breaks down. Layer 1. Vision. What are we actually trying to achieve, and why? Layer 2. Rules. How do we make decisions along the way? Layer 3. Tasks. What specifically needs to happen? Most organizations put all their energy into Layer 3. That's why execution keeps missing the point. Complete this report. Versus. This report informs our decision on whether to expand to Hanoi. Cost accuracy matters more than the design. Same task. Completely different execution. The difference is 1 sentence. 1 sentence at the top of any brief that tells the team what this work is actually feeding into. That's it. When rules aren't defined, the team makes them up. And they make them up based on their own experience, their own cultural defaults, and what they think you probably want. Sometimes that's fine. Often it isn't. When something is unclear, do I ask, or push forward? That's not an edge case. That's a daily decision. If you haven't answered it in writing, every person on your team is answering it differently. Most SOPs are written for compliance. They document what happened. A good SOP enables consistent output. 5 elements, in order. Purpose. Why does this exist? Trigger. What specific event starts it? Steps with named owners, numbered, active voice. Decision points. This is the one everyone skips. Output standard. What does done actually look like? Miss any of these, and your SOP is just a checklist that creates the illusion of structure. This is the element that separates a process that runs from a process that stalls. Every time your team hits a judgment call, delivery at risk, vendor over budget, task unclear, someone is making a decision. If you haven't documented the rule, they're guessing. And they're guessing alone, without your context. Write the if-then. It takes 10 minutes per scenario. It saves weeks of misaligned output. You don't need to redesign your entire operation this week. You need 3 moves. 1. Find the 3 processes that most consistently produce output that doesn't match your intent, not the most important ones, the most broken ones. 2. Define what done correctly looks like for each, before you rewrite anything. 3. Add 1 sentence to every task brief this week. This feeds into. That's the diagnostic. It will show you exactly where the structural gaps are. When intent is encoded in the process, execution doesn't depend on a good brief. When standards are explicit, quality doesn't depend on you being in the room to define it. When decision rules are documented, your team stops waiting for permission they didn't know they needed to ask for. This isn't about communication, it's about architecture. The team isn't failing to understand. The system isn't giving them enough to work with. That's the shift. From, why don't they get it, to, what have I actually built for them to get it from? The 3-layer communication SOP template is linked below. It's the starting framework if you want to begin encoding today.